Welcome to the Winning Edge Investments Podcast. Winning Edge Investments provides industry-leading horse racing and sports betting tips, ratings and education, enabling you to invest intelligently and treat your betting like a business. Go to www.winningedgeinvestments.com to learn more about how you can start to supercharge your betting bank immediately. Treat your betting like a business and invest intelligently with Winning Edge Investments.
Man was on fire, Dean Evans from Winning Edge Investments. Of course, winningedgeinvestments.com, tips, ratings and betting education for racing and sports. He was on fire last week. He was 3 from 3 with his Saturday tips. Vauban, Warwoven and Pembury all winning. And he joins us here ahead of a massive weekend of racing. Hello to you, Dean.
Good morning, Gareth. How you going?
Good, thank you, mate. It was a complete and utter fill-up for your followers last week.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Hopefully someone was brave enough to take the treble.
Yeah.
Up 25 to 1 or something like that. But yeah, no, good to know a few winners on our first week, and a bit of a different week this week. Some plenty of great racing, but it's a little bit trickier, I think.
Let's get stuck into the races that we want to have a look at with you on this Friday. So we'll start with the William Reid Stakes. Jimmy Star with Bet365 $2.30, Jigsaw 7, Tropica $7.50, Barrack Hill $9, then Angel Capital at 10, Charmstone at $13. What are you doing here, mate?
Yeah, look, only an average tempo here. Jigsaw is a leader, but it doesn't really set strong paces up front, and you only got sort of Tropicus and Barrack Hill following, but they're both a bit of a query over 1,200. They're probably more 1,100 metre horses, so they won't be applying a lot of pressure. That's going to make it hard for the back markers, and I've got sort of Jimmy Star back 9th, Benedetta, Angel Capital and Magic Time are all in the market. They're all sort of right up the back there. The likes of Angel Capital and Magic Time drawn wide are probably going to have to drop even further back. So they're all going to be a long way back on a slow tempo. This race has obviously run at Moonee Valley previously, but there's only been one winner from 41 starters who's been marked as a back marker in the database, and all those horses I mentioned are back markers. And then you've only had one winner from 22 runners first up. You got Jimmy Star first up, you got Magic Time first up. So I think it's a bit of a tricky race, and the one that I've sort of nailed on for a bit of value is Charmstone, who just maps really nicely, sort of close to that speed. Like I said, you got Jigsaw doing a slow speed, and then Tropicus and Barrack Hill. Charmstone would be sort of right on their backs, 4th or 5th on the fence. She's just a first-up bomb. She won the Manicato, though, 2 lengths first up last prep. She won the Robert Sankster Group 1 first up the prep before, and second in the Magic Millions Cup first up, on a Quizette first up. She just flies fresh, and she just sort of maps really nicely here in a race where, the back markers are going to be getting a long way back, and some of those on paces are a bit of a query over 1,200 or at the class. And I just think each way on a Smart Odds website, something like $15 available with some bookies. Charmstone, I think each way she just looks a really nice bet in a race where I think it's just a bit of a trap race, and I wouldn't want to be diving into horses like Jimmy Star and Magic Time first up when they're more targeting like races like the TJ Smith and All Age, whereas with Charmstone's really targeting this race first up and first up sort of where she excels.
So she was $18 yesterday when we were having a chat to Michael Kent Jr. with Bet365, now into $13 for Charmstone in the William Reid Stakes. Let's have a look at the Group 1 Ranvert Stakes over 2,000 metres, and she's odds on Eliana to take on Sir Delius. Your thoughts here?
Yeah, I have to go with Eliana. I think I've been sort of raving about her for a long time. It's getting a bit skinny, the price now, to be honest. But I think she's just going to stalk Sir Delius, be on his back. Mares have won this race for the last 5 years. She's obviously had to run into the likes of Via Sistina and Autumn Glow recently. She's just got that extra run under her belt coming into this third up, whereas Sir Delius is second up. It's going to be a real classic clash, I think, in the Queen Elizabeth. But I think here this profile is just to suit Eliana. Stalk Sir Delius, loves a wet track to Eliana. That's another positive, and I do think she's going to be too strong for Sir Delius tomorrow.
All right, then. So that's a push for Eliana. Then we go to the Rosehill Guineas, which is race 7 on the program. I should say race 6 on the program, the Rosehill Guineas at Rosehill. Autumn Boy 230, Observer 240, nearly equal favourites here. And then Federalist 11, Green Space is $13 here, Dean.
Yeah, again, just interesting tactical race. It's a small field here, and most of the sort of roughies in the race outside of the top two, Observer and Autumn Boy, are sort of backmarkers. So I can see Observer setting the pace here, and Autumn Boy sitting second. Observer's the proven stayer, having won a Mini Valley Vase over 2,000 and a Derby over 2,500. But Autumn Boy, I think, is a speedier horse, and certainly on the ratings, a lot of the sort of rating parameters that generally produce the winner of this race. Autumn Boy does have a fair edge on Observer, who's sort of been running slow time in his 2 wins. I think it's just going to be interesting tactically because Observer, in a really strong run 2,000-metre race, then you'd be lining or preferring Observer to Autumn Boy, who's a slight query, but he's by the Autumn Sun. He's out of a Savabeel mare. I think he will get to 2,000. It's just going to be interesting to see whether Craig is aggressive of Observer, having only ridden it once before, to try to make it a real staying test, when really I think it's just going to be Observer leading Autumn Boy on his back, and a real tactical affair. But I'm leaning towards Autumn Boy. I think he was really stiff first up in the Hobart Vilwin third, ran really well, then just ran into a superstar. She was Alibi last time in the Ranvert Guineas, that won the Caulfield Guineas last prep, and I think just profiles a bit better usually. The winner of this race, more often than not, comes out of the Ranvert Guineas 10 times in the last sort of 13 years. There's only a couple have come off an Australian Guineas run, and I just think Autumn Boy, on the facts and figures, has got a bit of an edge over Observer, and as long as he runs a decent 2,000, then I think he's the one to beat.
So, yeah, Autumn Boy there. Shea Yarn at $7, Streisand $7.50, close to the free $9, Guest House $9, Woolwoven $9, Paradoxim $11, Spicy Miss $11 now, Fireball $15, Seven Barley's $15, Stratton Ruler at $17, Campion d'Italia at $17, Pembury at $23, and this year's Golden Slipper. Dean, who do you like?
Look, the 2 horses from the trials that we've been following this whole prep are closer to free and Pembury. We back closer to free at 200 to 1 in the Blue Diamond after it won that Caulfield jump out. It beat Eternal Warrior and Alibaba, who were both listed winners there. Won the Blue Diamond Prelude in good time, and then second in the Blue Diamond last start. And then Pembury, who we backed last week again to lead all the way in the Magic Night. They're 2 very quick horses. We've spoken about this before, but the Golden Slipper, one of the incredible stats in the last 22 years, 19 of the winners were on the rails before the turn. There's only been 3 in the last 22 years that weren't on the rails, and a couple of them sat in the 1-1. A couple of them were trained by Gay, so it's generally a key stat. And my map's actually got closer to free leading on the fence, despite the wide gate.
Okay.
Drawn right on the outside, it actually has the early speed to get across quite comfortably and quite easily, whereas some of the others like Pembury and Paradoxian, Warwoven, who are sort of on the speed too, they're all going to have to do a lot more work than closer to free on their natural early speeds to actually be able to get across. I think closer to free is the best horse in the race. I think he maps to lead. I think he could get across the lead, like I said, easier than people realise. And if he does, that'd be very hard to beat. Pembury's high quality. It's just the gate that's such a real shame, but she's a really high quality. On all the ratings figures and sort of profiling, the top horse is Warwoven, who we also backed last week. Yeah. He just profiles really nicely, but again, the map's a bit sticky. And the horse, if we're talking about that map situation, the horses who are on the fence, the one that definitely gets the best run right behind the speed and straight on the fence is Spicy Miss. And she also just profiles really well as a winner of the Sweet Embrace last time, and getting a really nice, easy run. So certainly if you're taking trifectas, first horse, quaddies, I think you have to put them closer to free, Pembury, Warwoven and Spicy Miss. I think they're the clear top 4 in this year's slipper, and what is obviously an open slipper because you've just got all the leading chances drawn wide. But if I have to pick one, I think closer to free is the best horse in the race, and I think he's got the talent to actually lead all the way and win the slipper.
Bring on the Slipper is going to be a great race. And now Vauban, who was so good last week, we've got a Tancred Stakes promotion that we're running alongside Giddy Up and, of course, Winning Edge Investments. So how do we go about entering this competition and what can we win here, Dean?
Yeah, look, so just pop on the Winning Edge Investments website. If you go to the homepage, you'll see the terms and conditions, but it's as simple as anyone who's a member of any one of our services, even just a monthly member.
Yep.
Just as long as you're an active member of a service, you can join the tipping comp. You'll get an email to join. A bit like our Melbourne Cup competition last year, you win a share in Vauban for the day, basically, in the Tancred. So 1% of Vauban's prize money will be straight in your pocket. He's $3.50 favourite in the race, second favourite for the Tancred after his impressive first up win in the Sky High. It's a $1.5 million race. So all you got to be is a Winning Edge member. You can join today, enter that tipping comp. You win the tipping comp and you get a 1% of the prize money Vauban earns in the Tancred. The top 10 also on the tipping comp will win an accommodation package with Fun Escapes, which is worth around $1,000 too.
Wow.
So definitely worth entering the competition, similar to the Melbourne Cup comp. But, Vauban's a second favourite here and a really, really good chance of getting that top check.
Love your work, Dean. Well done last week. Let's hope your red-hot form can continue. And, we appreciate your time as always here on Giddy Up on a Friday.
Cheers, Gareth. Appreciate it.
At Winning Edge Investments, our team of highly skilled expert analysts and full-time professional punters review the data, crunch the figures, assess the best betting opportunities, and deliver them to your phone via our app and your email inbox in real time so you profit. Go to www.winningedgeinvestments.com. Look at our membership options. Make your choice and enter the promo code PODCAST to receive a special 25% discount on your first membership just for listening. That's PODCAST in capital letters for a 25% ongoing discount on your first membership. Treat your betting like a business and invest intelligently with Winning Edge Investments.